अब start कर देते हैं. Now we have around 47 people. So welcome everybody. This is the first meetup of startuplearn.org. This is a new initiative which I have started, and I am thankful to the speakers. So we have two speakers today, Mr. Bhushan Patil and Mr. Anirudh Malpani. Mr. Patil was the president at Paytm earlier, and now he is the co-founder of Multiply Ventures. He is a renowned VC. Mr. Anirudh Malpani is very famous, and we all know him on social media.
All famous for all the wrong reasons. अरे कम से कम infamous तो बोल यार. ऐसे मत कर.
He's fighting I would say he's fighting a big battle with some edtech startups. I would not name, नहीं तो हमारा भी बंद करा देंगे चैनल.
तू तो डरपोक निकला है सौरभ. मुझे नहीं लगा था. हाँ, क्या करेंगे? कितने लोगों को शट डाउन करेंगे? I think they've learned their lesson. थी दोबारा नहीं करने वाले. That I can promise you.
So I think today we would have a very good session. I think people would learn also, and obviously they will learn some facts about tech.
Yeah, but my priority is not to help you learn. My priority is to entertain you. I believe that if you can't entertain someone, then they'll never learn anything. So emotions come first. और फिर बाद में सीखेंगे नहीं सीखेंगे. जो बोलना है वो तो किधर भी सीख सकते हैं. किताबें हैं, वीडियोस है, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात हुई. लोगों को हंसाना थोड़ा मुश्किल रहता है. You know, if I wasn't a doctor, I'd love to be a stand-up comic. I don't think I've done a very good job, but I'd love to try at least. Chalo.
So coming to the topic today. So today the topic is how to get funding. So we will be sharing you the best practices for funding. And basically the people here are very experienced in raising funding. So हमारा language would be English. मैं बड़ा clear कर रहा हूँ because what I've realized, मेरे को विजय से जब बात होती तो विजय ज़रूर एक चीज़ कहते थे. And वो ये था कि ज़्यादातर Indians are very comfortable with English. So I personally like English as a medium. So first question, I think.
You know what, Saurabh, what happens to all the South Indians? They're going to take offense.
नहीं, अब वो है, but unfortunately you cannot speak two languages. मतलब I am going with the majority. I am not against anybody. I am going with majority. So
okay, I just started pulling your legs, Saurabh. I haven't finished.
Yeah, I think South में भी इतनी problem आती नहीं है. Bhushan is right now in Bangalore, so I think वो South से ही है.
Bangalore is hardly considered to be South. Bangalore guys pretend that they're New York of India. Anyway, I shouldn't even say that. हाँ बोलो.
So first question is, when should a startup founder raise funds in his or her startup? So we will have this pattern. I will first ask Bhushan and then Mr. Malpani. So Bhushan,
and I will give exactly the opposite of whatever Ms. Bhushan says. I'm telling you that right now, because I honestly believe there are always two sides to every question. Yeah. So irrespective whether actually I agree with him or not,
will be even better. People would get both sides of the
different views.
Yes,
both sides of coin. Yeah.
So first question is, when should a startup founder raise funds in his or her startup?
Okay, I think it's a simple question, and maybe I can give a very simple answer, and then I'll elaborate a bit. One is, I think if you have created some value, and which you think that this value can be judged by somebody else beyond you as a founder, I think you possibly are ready for funding. That's a simple statement. Obviously, now the value can be in different terms. The value can be in terms of the idea itself, that you just feel that I have this eureka moment and that something has not been done. You can actually start talking to people saying that. And we have seen people getting funding at idea stage. Subsequently, you can also look at, let's say, getting some initial traction of product readiness, or if it gets set of customers or first revenue. This possibly could be initial milestone to kind of get possibly look at the funding readiness in just to give a short answer there, right? So there's no specific when, but if you feel that there's enough value and you need money, that is when you should actually go and look for funding from outside.
Okay, so to Mr. Malpani.
My point is always start with why. And the first you should ask yourself is, why do I need to raise funding in the first place? And my thing is that funding is actually optional. And the less you need to raise funding, the more people are likely to chase after you and give you the money. The worst thing to do is to be needy, as go out with a begging bowl and say, "Arey yaar, mujhe paise do." If you tell someone, "मैं तेरा पैसा double करूँगा," तो तुझे line लगेगी जो लोग पैसा देने वाले हैं. And the only thing really people care about is, are you capable of making money? So I think if you have, so again, it's a very biased, very prejudiced worldview, and I completely agree that it doesn't fit in with what a lot of people say, and I will explain to you why it doesn't. But my point is that people will give you money if you can prove to them that you will multiply the money for them. None of these guys are your father-in-laws. Please understand that. और तुम उनको कैसे prove कर सकते हो तुम उनका पैसा multiply करोगे? By showing them that you have skin in the game and that you've actually created enough value that you have paying customers, because then it's a much easier leap of faith to take. Whereas when you take a leap of faith at the idea stage, bichara, the investor has to work very hard. So I don't like working hard at all. I'm a very lazy guy. But if on the other hand, you come to me and say, hey boss, I've already made so much money, then the leap of faith is that much easier for me to take. Then I'm much more happy to give you money, because I think your ability to multiply it is that much more. I can trust that you respect your own money, and therefore presumably you will respect mine. Then you know how it is. Other people's money is very easy to
spend.
So it is called OPM. So when I joined the startup ecosystem in 2004, so somebody told me a term called OPM. So that person said कि other people's money feels like जैसे OPM खा के जोश चढ़ जाता है.
Nice.
It feels like that, and I have personally seen मतलब many startups doing that. So I would have my own take on this. So I am currently in the process of raising funds for my own startup. So what happened with me was very interesting. So when I left Paytm, तो मेरे को उम्मीद नहीं थी, because I am doing transmedia education, which is a very new thing. तो I realized कि बिना proof of concept के nobody would be ready to fund, तो मैं किसी के पास जा नहीं रहा था. But then I was pleasantly surprised in March that many elite investors started calling me. They said meeting करते हैं. They wanted to fund. So I thought, if time is right, and obviously we all know markets are up and we have flush of liquidity right now. So what I realized was that there is no right time internally. I think external factors also have a say on that. The other thing is that obviously if money can add value. So what I realized was that कि अगर मैं funding नहीं लेता तो जो काम 6 महीने में होगा वो funding लेने के बाद 4 महीने में हो जाएगा, because obviously I can have better employees, I can pay better.
सौरभ, अगर लक्ष्मी घर आ रही है तो मैं थोड़ी बोल रहा हूँ तो उसको. हाँ,
इसमें एक चीज और है, what I would like to add, लक्ष्मी घर नहीं आ रही, लक्ष्मी ऑफिस आ रही है. घर तो तभी आएगी जब IPO आएगा या सेल होगी. जो पैसे मिलते हैं, ये मैं एक चीज और, आई थिंक many people who are new to the ecosystem उनको नहीं पता होता. एक बार मैं बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. So when I was running Paytm Build for India, somebody came, he said, सर पेटीएम को अभी $1 बिलियन की फंडिंग मिली है, तो $1 बिलियन के ये सामने जो ऑफिस है B121 उसमें पड़े होते हैं. तो मैंने कैश में फंडिंग नहीं मिलती है, तो चेक से मिलती है. दूसरा ये है कि वो चेक जो है वो कंपनी के बैंक अकाउंट में जाता है, वो विजय के या किसी और के बैंक अकाउंट में नहीं जाता है. तो पॉइंट ये है कि जो फंडिंग मिलती है दैट कम्स इन ऑफिस, नॉट एट होम. तो वो थोड़ा सा वो फर्क है. So coming to the second question, what is the general funding process? तो ये मैं थोड़ा सा I want to demystify, because as a startup founder many years ago, I would say pre Paytm वाले मेरे जो days थे उस समय, I was also confused, यार ये seed funding क्या होती है, series A क्या होती है, series B क्या होती है, ABCD ये क्या चलता रहता है. And because you always have this news on Antracker या Medianama वगैरह पे कि this company has raised series A, this company has raised series B. तो आई थिंक भूषण, मैंने आपसे ही शायद एक बार, मेरे को ध्यान है, मैंने 1.5-2 साल पहले एक बार पूछा भी था कि एग्जैक्ट प्रोसेस क्या होता है, कि बिकॉज आई वाज रियली कंफ्यूज बिटवीन कि ये सीड राउंड और सीरीज ए के बीच में एग्जैक्ट डिफरेंस क्या होता है. तो आई वुड से स्टार्टिंग से अगर हम करते हैं, तो नाउ इफ यू कैन क्लैरिफाई कि फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली फर्स्ट जो राउंड होता है वहां से लेकर इफ यू कैन क्लैरिफाई आईपीओ तक, या पेटीएम आई थिंक वुड बी द बेस्ट एग्जांपल कि पेटीएम तक कर सकते हैं. एंड मिस्टर मालपानी देन कैन शेयर Bajus वाले अपने thoughts थोड़े, क्योंकि Bajus has done everything and now they are also near Paytm.
No, I think, see, let me kind of walk you through the theory first and then we'll come to practicality. So theory तो वही है कि basically you start with your own money first. Then you get friends and family angels who typically believe you more than what you will do. So it's about your capability. Generally उसको मतलब theoretically लोग बोलते हैं founder market fit, right? So basically somebody believes that, okay, Saurav Jain can do something in edtech because he has a very good academic background, etc. lot of affiliation. So they will believe in you for certain market. So बोलते हैं founder market. The founder and the market he can do. Suddenly you say I am doing something, let's say in a rocket science technology, and you have no experience in it. जो देने वाला 10 लाख देने वाला वो सोचेगा. He might give only 1 lakh rupees. Right? So that's the first possible step where people believe people. The second stage really, and that really I will call as angel or a friends and family round. Second one is maybe you can extend that pool in a little bit of a larger thing. You can say beyond that, that's where like micro VCs come in, and
I think
I'm just kind of
professional
squeezing
angels,
in.
you can say.
Yeah, so extended angels, like beyond your friends and family, there's an angel networks. Like they are sometimes they just want to call themselves a micro VCs nowadays. Just they're trying to put themselves in a VC, कि हम भी VC types, that kind of a thing. So that's a second possibly next possibly step for you. One and it's a mixed bag of things. Some of these angel networks will ask you, okay, do you have some product ready? Do you have half cooked product ready? Do you have some customer insight when you're working on, etc. That is a kind of a time and then mapping of that particular round. Typically in size, it will be anywhere between, let's say, 1 crore to maybe 2-3 crore kind of sizes in a normal fashion. It can be bigger also, but that's typical as angel round. Then nowadays there is something called pre-seed and seed. Let's not confuse between two terms, both are similar. So typically that's in when institutional, maybe early stage investors would want to come in. If the round is smaller, typically founder and the founder think that, okay, I can also raise a little bit more money. So they will call it as pre-seed. कि मैं pre-seed पे 5 crore उठा रहा हूँ. But somebody can also say I'm okay to call myself raising 5 crore from the same investor as a seed round. It's more like a founder's adjustment कि मेरे को 2 बार पैसा उठाना पड़ेगा before I get to really large one. So they can do maybe 2 rounds of pre-seed and seed. Similarly at Series A basic pre-seed pe typically you are actually a little bit kind of, you are already proven the product is ready, the first revenue, first customers, maybe or a moat of maybe some kind of a templates are ready for you to go to market, etc. Series A उसके बाद आएगा. Series A में typically that is when you would call it as like maybe that is where you can start seeing a product market fit. So basically it's leaving you out as a founder. Customers love you as a product. That is when possibly customers are using your product and they don't know the CEO of the company, right? Just assume that, for example, if I'm using Paytm, I don't know the CEO of the Paytm. When I'm using Amazon, I don't know who is the CEO of Amazon, right? That's a typical kind of a stage, which is the next step where Series A, where people typically look at product market fit. Ki product acha, and then a lot of money would come from building and growing the product and getting a little bit more traction in the consumer. Generally उसके बाद जो and that's both again pre-A, we can call it as. Now there is B, can be also termed as B plus kind of rounds are happening. B and C जो typically funding होगी, that is mainly for and इसमें थोड़े differences है. If you look at India, the B and C money is actually coming for market, right? So otherwise just to grow the current businesses, India में इतना बड़ा पैसा होने की जरूरत होती नहीं है. But B and C type में India में, let's say if somebody is getting, let's say anyway $20-30 million, or somebody even get, let's say at a C level 100 million, 200 million kind of rounds, those typically are कि you have proven your market, product भी अच्छा है, you as a founder has proven the process, everything right. Now here is the money to kind of get larger volume of customers. Then it's all basically, that is the time when you're talking, that's called as a growth phase of a company, that you're growing very fast, right? So वो growth stage पे आएगा Series B and C. So these are possibly steps theoretically matching to maybe the journey of a startup and stage. Start with founder market, then product market, and eventually if you are like, let's say for example, let's say even at a scale of, let's say $1 billion or even more, so really the $1 billion of 10 billion or 15 billion in India rate doesn't matter. And personally I call it as process market, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे क्या होता है, जो innovation जो होगा, that is not driven by CEO or a particular market, it is process में ही होता है. जैसे for example Tata का growth today is not somebody sitting in Mumbai to decide. वो the particular vertical in business of Tata, they have their own kind of innovation process. Every 3 महीने होने के बाद they have to question that system, that okay, what is working. तो process में innovation built up हो जाता है. So that's more of a process. That's when the PE really starts coming into picture, PE funds and then etc. etc. And जो IPO वाला चीज है, IPO really happens when you plateau the private valuation. The private valuation is basically you are taking money from VCs or angels, etc. That is private valuation. So you don't have to go to public to get money, and you go to smaller set of people who can take higher risk with you. तो वो प्राइवेट वैल्यूएशन बोला जाएगा. बट लेट्स से इफ यू फाइंड कि इंडिया में 15 बिलियन की कंपनी हो गया, अभी आगे क्या करना है? एंड मे बी समटाइम्स द VCs डू नॉट वैल्यू यू बियॉन्ड दैट as much. Then you think that, okay, now given that I'm a profitable company, my unit economics is set, everything is set, that is when you would say that why don't I actually, because if I'm anyway doing sectorially right, let's say edtech में मैं अच्छा कर रहा हूँ as compared to any other kind of publicly listed company, my profit ratios to investments are much better, my kind of costs are much lower, etc. You might want to think about IPO, right? Generally IPO में थोड़ा सोचने का ये हो सकता है कि you would say कि मतलब भाई प्राइवेट वैल्यूएशन में I am plateauing, I am not getting let's say 3x 5x 10x kind of valuation upsides. That is when you would say that let's open to public. उसमें रिस्क थोड़ा कम होता है. SEBI etc. as a regulators also do not want to kind of grow IPOs in a single let's say 2 months 3 month period 5x 10x. The regulatory allow also to kind of grow very organically and slowly. That is when you are ready for a IPO kind of a thing. तो ये rounds हो गए. अभी क्या है कि like now obviously due to market pressures and all these things, it is also happening and there are a bunch of examples in India that you can jump the rounds. So as a founder, ये मतलब you don't have to go through the same rule book as a theory. You can always say that कि I'm raising a round and you will see जैसे what we said कि seed round पे लोगों को मतलब they are sub of $1 million, sub of let's say 6-7 crore is a good seed round. But there are actually seasoned founders who are raising $8 million, $10 million seed rounds also. So currently where I think India is, I think good ideas, good founders, and also, or it could be founders who really see that particular opportunity and they have got really good tie-ups, I would say associations and partnerships done, got initial good traction. They have a potential of jumping the rounds. Nothing stops you from not raising as a friends and family and directly go to seed. Nothing stops you to kind of keep growing, as doctor said, that जरूरत नहीं तो क्यों उठा रहे हो पैसा, right? Directly raise let's say $10 million as a series A or something like that. So I think I just told you theory, but practical, when you actually do your own startup, your option of jumping or you're creating, like you can also be creative कि series A minus कर लेते हैं, A plus करेंगे, because we might want to be around the same. We just foresee कि 2-3 साल तक हम यही घूमते रहेंगे around इसी bucket के अंदर. So you have option of B minus, B plus, B 1.1. So that is those all things you can coin up. There's no hard and fast, but typically that's a journey of the way investors look at you. But you as a founder, you can actually be rebellious to kind of jump the things. That's maybe a little bit of a long answer.
I think long answer, but good answer. I think काफी demystify हुआ. So coming to Mr. Malpani, so आप बताइए.
So, I think, and like Bhushan pointed out, a lot of this is a very textbook answer. And the reality is that real life has very little to do with the textbook. And what actually happens, as Saurabh said, is कोई पैसा देता है तो ले लो. और कोई नहीं देता है तो what can you do about it? You can't say, hey, मुझे series B raise करना है, कोई पैसा देता नहीं तो कुछ आने नहीं वाला है. So I think all those are fine. Couple of things. One, I think a lot of these, I believe, are what I call vanity metrics. And I think it's great for the startup press, and it's great when you issue a press release, because obviously investors need a little bit of publicity, or, a bootstrapped entrepreneur who's frugal doesn't have money to waste on stuff like that, which is why a lot of them, and it's okay to reconstruct these things. And I think it's useful to know the jargon because you should understand what other people are doing. But equally importantly, I don't think you should get distracted by what other people are doing. Most of it is quite irrelevant. And, if you're chugging along merrily, people will come to you. And that, I think, is a much better situation. I think there's one thing, Bhushan, you should also have included is what are called bridge rounds. Which means, okay, fine, you've raised your series A, now you're running out of money. Koi series B to dene nahi wala hai, to arey yaar, abhi kya karo? So hopefully then, instead of going back to your investors and say, please, mujhe paisa do, you've got to put a fancier spin on it. So you call it a bridge round. Usually bridge rounds are often distress rounds, but obviously that's not the way they're positioned in the general public perception, because no one really wants to acknowledge some of that fact. And I think while it's great to know the theory, and especially quite frankly, by the time you started raising money, you're going to learn so much about all this jargon on the job, you're going to be forced to learn it. And then your investors will teach you, or your lawyers will teach you, and your chartered accountants will teach you. But at least in the initial phases, I think a lot of that is distraction. So I usually tell people it's great, but just eat the elephant one bite at a time. And that one bite will keep you occupied and busy enough before you can think about the next one. None of this is a get rich quick. Everyone makes overnight riches, and that's the one everyone tries to talk about. But no one tells you about the 15 years of hard work they've put in before they actually miss that overnight success.
Okay, so next question.
Now, before I think maybe Saurabh will also add, I think definitely as doctor said, right? One is a bridge, but also you have to also look at from a process, there are different types of monies available, right? You have a VC money or a bridge money, which is equity linked. There are also debt capitals. And in fact, there are some interesting startups available. So if you just think that I need really money for kind of running my business, like more of an operational money, not really like a investment going into my team, IP building, etc., but just to buy the inventory and rotate it, etc. Maybe at that time you also bring in a debt capital, so you don't have to really go in and liquidate yourself just to keep. I think so. There, I think it's also important to at some point of time look at the types of monies available. And it's not always, sometimes these monies are also not available always all the time with VCs, right? Like debt capital, there are very interesting startups right now in the market give you debt capital at a very good models, and very attractive kind of structuring. So you should also look at that. So her time matlab liquidate, matlab you should not be losing equity all the time.
Or Bhushan, there's also revenue-based financing, which we're doing.
Exactly. I didn't want to
So
touch
you're
upon
right.
all this.
No,
Yeah, those
I
very
think that's a
interesting
great
models.
point. Yeah, there are multiple different ways. And then it's not so much what you want, it's how much other people are willing to give you. So it's always going to be someone else in the driving seat, unless you've got paying customers and you can show people. I think that's the best position for you as an entrepreneur. Don't let investors like me bully you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we come to the next question. What should be the key points in the elevator pitch? I will just like to share the screen 2 minutes just to show some of the things which. So I have created a site called startuplearn.org as part of this initiative, and I will be sharing a lot of gyan there. So these are some of the slides. I will be sharing the URL of the page where all these posters are there. So just having this in background, I think would be right while Bhushan is answering. So the question is, what should be there in the elevator pitch? So what I saw was that if you have to pitch to an investor, you have to focus on these 11 things. So elevator pitch, problem, solution, why now, market, product, wires, business model, team, financials, and finally the deal. So to start with, Bhushan, if you can tell what are the key things you see in a startup when somebody comes and does an elevator pitch in front of you?
Yeah, I think what you just said, and maybe I'll just give a little bit of a rebellious answer there. So, see, numbers, statistics, etc., is all good, but I think first, many times what happens is founders jump into directly into that. Imagine, पहले सोचना है कि basically the guy who you are meeting right now, he doesn't have a context of your play, right? And you might have some USP or some kind of unique proposition built up. So, I think this consumer story or storytelling becomes very important, right? So I think maybe you have to spend a little bit of a time of getting the investor who is typically not coming from your domain, or sometimes has got a understanding of domain, but he might not be oriented to the idea which you are going to talk about. So it's very important. Also, context में लाना बहुत important होता है. Like for example, if his mind is somewhere else, you have to bring in कि let's go to a market together and let's discuss how somebody is buying something, or how is your kid going to study online, and that kind of thing, right? So I think storytelling becomes very important, is what I feel. And we have seen that working much more and more, especially early stages, because you otherwise every pitch, right, in terms of Excel sheets and projections will always look good, because it's just extending the numbers, right? And then you will try to obviously match. You would have done enough to figure out कि इसका revenue 30 lakh था, तो I'll just show 40 lakh and I can say I'll be better, right? So I think that decent smart founder who really is ready to raise money, he will do that kind of matchmaking there for sure. What is missing typically is setting the context. वो बहुत important है. Second thing I would say in terms of I would say elevator pitch or the founders pitch is, what are your insights, right? ठीक है, मतलब now let's say in this context we got all the startup CEOs, startup founders to kind of talk about startups. What is that insight you're going to build? Because one, कभी-कभी क्या होता है, you will see pitches like कि वो दुनिया की सारी चीजें under the sky is trying to build, कि ये भी मैं build कर लूंगा. If somebody asks, but what about how will the student find the money to support it? No, we'll launch a fintech also. NBFC भी भूल जाती है time पे. So something, what happens is they're trying to do everything, and generally you as a team is very small, maybe a couple of people, maybe 5 people, 6 people. The person who is going to invest money is at the stage is very focused on certain aspects, so you cannot build everything under the sky. So what is that single biggest insight which you think that, okay, this is something is the core for you to kind of get yourself excited, the investor excited, as well as the consumer excited? क्या किस insight पे आप काम कर रहे हो? And because and that becomes like a network, also brings some kind of network effect of the town, etc. एक दूसरी चीज ये भी important होती है कि like, okay, you might have talked about your story, your insight. कभी-कभी what is missing in addition number is a path. What is the path you're going to take, right? what is your part to get, let's say, first 1,000 customers? How are you going to get a million customers? How are you going to get? I think you may not have a picture of, let's say, how will you become a unicorn, but how are you going to grow your customers? Whether it's, and what is the lever for it? So typically, investors वही होता है कि what they are looking for is कि are you focusing on certain thing? Are you a focus oriented person? Can you really take on that particular space? Can you really solve that particular problem? Will your customers love what you're doing, and then eventually pay? So it's not about, it's very less of a ability of a person to pay, etc. But it's more about, will your customer love you, and will he love you like 5 times a day, or will he love you once in a year, kind of model. So enumerating storytelling, insight, path to kind of at least the basic successes are few things which definitely should increase in the pitches. Or you can always back it up with whatever. I think, Saurabh, I think I've seen that framework earlier. Definitely, it's a hygiene which is required, but very important. Wavelength, investors se match karna hai, talking the same apples to apple, get him excited that, okay, these apples are going to sell much better, and my apples will be much better in the market because of so and so story and path which I'm going to take. So that is, I would say, those are few things which should definitely include. If you have anyway shown some traction, that I have done some survey, this is an output of it. I have actually, my product is already in a, let's say, beta phase or whatever MVP phase, has got used by 5,000 people. Somehow these kind of initial success metrics really would also get somebody excited. So those are the few things I will definitely put into.
So I think basically a lot of people aren't able to pitch very well, partly because they don't have much practice in public speaking, or partly because they're techies and they don't understand the importance, like you said, of being able to story tell well. So often it's a good idea perhaps to hire a coach who will teach you, and there are lots of these pitch coaches available. You need to rehearse this so that you can say it in your speech. I think I hate it when people use the tech as a crutch in order to make it, because I can read much faster than you can ever talk, and then you put me off to sleep fairly quickly. I think you should always lead with the most exciting thing. You've got to grab the guy's attention. All pitching is all emotional. Let's accept that. All the numbers will come afterwards. And especially in a pitch session, you're hearing 4 pitches. By the time you heard the 4th one, you've forgotten who the first guy was. So lead with your ace. So, if you're making money, lead with that. Start off with humor, start off with questions, incite curiosity. And there's so many great YouTube videos and so many great books which will actually teach you how to be able to do this. Some people get very pissed off. अरे यार वो इंग्लिश बड़ी अच्छा बोलता है, इसके लिए उसको सब लोग पैसे देते हैं. मैं इतना अच्छा इंजीनियर हूँ, मेरी कोड इतनी अच्छी है, मुझे कोई वैल्यू करता नहीं, अप्रिशिएट करता है. So either you decide to take a victim mentality and say, oh, you're never going to be appreciated, I'm a diamond in the rough, and you continue remaining a diamond in the rough and feeling sorry for yourself, or you say, what the hell, I'm smart enough, I can easily acquire and pick up these skills. And there are enough resources for you, whether it's Udemy courses, whether it's YouTube videos or whatever else. So just keep on doing it until you get better. It's not something which anyone is naturally born with, but the good news is it's definitely something which you can acquire. And sometimes it bothers me when someone is making money. You tell me first you're making money. That should be your first slide. Never ever accept a template or a formula. And you need to be different from all the 50 other pitches which that investor is listening to, because most likely he'll have gone to sleep by the time he's heard another one. Let me tell you another secret. Every time we get a pitch, we're looking for a reason to say no. I know this sounds horrible and it sounds, God, these investors are so full of themselves and they're so arrogant. And they think, thoda sa paisa hai, iske liye, they treat entrepreneurs like crap. And that's not true. I can't make money unless I find an entrepreneur to give the money to. But having said that, I already have a portfolio which is busy and keeps me occupied, and I need to make sure those guys are growing. And every time I say yes to a pitch means I have to do my homework and my due diligence. And if I get a deck and I see someone who said, dear sir, and not even bothered to send me an email, dear Dr. Anirudh Malpani, then, why the hell should I even bother? He's being so rude. All I'm trying to say is your basic hygiene will make sure that you're not going to be like 95% of the other entrepreneurs whose emails I don't even bother to respond to, simply because they've got all these red flags. And the way I look at it is, you're sending me a pitch, you want money from me, and you don't even bother to do your homework or read my website or find out what I'm looking for. And you send a dear sir email, which obviously you've sent to 50 other investors. I'm not interested in entertaining spam. And if you think I'm rude, then so be it. I'll find someone else who's a little more polite than you are and who's done his homework, who's much more likely to earn the right to give my money to rather than someone like you? So a long answer, but
So coming to the next question, and I think the slide is very relevant for that. So the next question is, what are the things which you see want in a pitch deck? So what, based on the number of books I have read and talking to people like Bhushan, what I have realized is that investors basically look into problem, solution, why your solution will work to this problem, why the problem is big, why now, why it could not be done 5 years ago, what is the market, what is the product. I personally believe, I have been to a lot of pitching sessions. I personally believe there should be a 1 or 2 minute demo also, because if your product is good, you should show it. Why us? Why only you can do it? Why not? Like, for example, when I started in EdTech, my first question with myself was, why Mr. Baju Ravindran cannot beat me? So that was the first question. Mr. Malpani, I think, would smile on that. So then coming to, what is your business model? What is your team? Why your team would be able to win it? Financials, early stage may obviously the financials are less, but they may be relevant. And what is the deal? So with that, coming to Bhushan, Bhushan, would you like to add to any of these things, or give your own twist to any of these things?
I think, see, what you say, it's true, but as doctor said, right, how you structure this is very important. It's and I think the best pitches are the shortest pitches, right? It's typically you would have already decided, and it become. I've not seen. I've said yes to a deal when I heard him like for 2 hours, and that generally, like in the first 10-15 minutes, what are your points, like it could be product, it could be, and it's not, a lot of time it's not about languages, or the kind of ability of you able to talk in great English, etc. It's exactly like what doctor said, like what is your ace, right? What's your card? Is your product a card, then show demo. If you're revenue making and profitable, tell that first. Don't even look at don't even switch on a video. Maybe you can say, I'm a profitable company. Let him just soak in that I'm a profitable company first. Just show the slide that last month we were 50% profitable and we are break even for last 8 months or whatever it would be, right? And then you get on to that call. I think so. It's more of that entry strategy and getting the buy-in in the first few big things what you're doing it, because rest of it is all about like how part, right? How both of you are going to achieve the big success. By that time, you already said that, okay, 2 of us come together. If this is my story, and I'm assuming that you're already in, then let me walk you through how we're going to walk the path, right? Rather than saying that I'm on the other side of the table for 2 hours and I keep pitching kind of a model. So I think most of the things are relevant. I think, but practice your pitches, as I think Dr. Anurit said, very important. Don't go half-hearted. Like if you don't know certain number on your slide, and somebody asks you, by the way, how much, because people do test that, right? Are you thorough enough, or I just created a pitch yesterday night and you're just throwing 2% and trying to say ki 1 crore mil gaya to chala lenge, right? That kind of, and you have seen people like that. That's a typical crowd. Or you might get some copy of ideas, right? Typically that's another bucket of thing. Like if you're copying some idea from other country, from US, you just feel that ki wahan paisa mila to mere ko bhi mil jayega, right? So unless you have done enough of your homework, and very easy to one thing I think with experienced people, and somebody's investing money, even at a junior guy who's investing money, वो ठोक बजा के पैसा डालता है. There is no dumb money available. Nobody does a mistake in putting money, generally, right? They might do mistake as maybe you fail together, but not at the time of investment. मतलब हम सब्जी भी खरीदते तो देख परख के खरीदते. Exactly like that. So very important to think of that. Go with a thorough study, etc. Yeah. Otherwise, I think most of us talked about points, what is required to be in the pitch.
Mr. Malpani, would you like to add anything here?
Again, I just finished saying everything.
Yeah, I think we talked about this. Yeah.
Okay. So coming to the next question. So how to connect to angel investors and VCs like you people? So this is, I think, is one of the biggest questions from a normal startup founder ki sir mil hi nahi pate ye bade investor. And I also know ki you are getting so many pitches every day ki wo you feel ki yaar kab tak dekho.
I think my answer to that's very simple. If you can find customer, finding angel investor is not easy, not hard, because finding, at least if you're trying to find an investor, right, everything is sorted, right? You know the person, kiske piche jana hai, you know the medium to reach, you know ki kiske liye jana hai, everything is fine. But finding a first set of customer is much harder than an angel. I think most of the founders who say that, I typically always say that, and some of them are also my friend, you're not putting enough effort. It's simply that. And some people will not happen. It's like the customer, right? It's not every customer is your customer, right? There's no point in वो कोई मिराज के पीछे नहीं, that guy has put in money yesterday 50 lakh rupees, तो इसी के पीछे भागेंगे. अरे भाई, he has taken that call after 2 years of thinking and putting 50 lakh. The next 50 lakh will come out only after 2 years, right? तो वो जो just in time Bollywood economy वाला मॉडल है ना, फ्राइडे मूवी आएगा तो उसके पीछे भागते हैं टाइप, that should not have happened. And finding angels is much easier. It's a focused activity. You have to spend a little bit of a time there, and it's not hard at all. And people are willing to listen to you. They might not reply because they are getting exactly as you rightly pointed. They might get 20 pitches. Some of them we see, some of we don't see, but keep updating people. A lot of investors like you going back to saying that with updates, obviously same pitch हर time भेजेंगे. Sir, I have sent you same. What happened? अरे boss, तू आगे का story बता. Maybe I already read it, right? Now tell me, did you move the needle that okay, we got 30% upside week over week or whatever that people like, and then maybe there is a carrot for that guys also come back to you. So it's much easier than finding customer for most of the times, I would say.
I completely agree. I think, don't forget, investors want to find entrepreneurs to invest money in. We're all available and accessible digitally. And I think the trick is what you guys need to do is to learn to use social media platforms intelligently. The worst thing is to then just scrape some websites, get hold of email addresses, and then just send the same stupid email with the same pitch deck to everyone. That's a sign of laziness. And I think that's a big problem with Indian students. Also partly thanks to Byju's, is you want everything to be spoon-fed. You just want to listen and cram all the questions and cram all the answers, and you can't think intelligently. You end up doing exactly the same thing. And that's why so many people find it hard to get a job. Because you go to Naukri.com and you send the same stupid resume to 1,000 recruiters whose primary job is going to be to throw that stupid resume along with the other 999 resumes in the waste paper basket. You have to get past the gatekeeper. And the only way to get past the gatekeeper is to engage them emotionally. Yeah. The good news is that don't imagine all these problems. I think you need to be able to earn the right to win. And I love this phrase because no one's going to give you their money. Let me ask you this question. How did you get your girlfriend? Think of it exactly the same way. Yeah. Did you, send an email to the other 30 girls in your class saying, hey, would you like to be my girlfriend? Obviously not. You found out who her best friend was. You found out where she hangs out. You find out when she goes out, watches movies. You choose a date like Valentine's. Come on, guys. You guys are smart. Don't underestimate yourself. If you could find a girlfriend, then getting hold of an angel investor really isn't very different. Think of it like dating, if nothing else, and use exactly the same principles. I'll tell you another secret. The best way to get an investor's interest is to tell them, hey, some other investor is interested in me. Investors are very competitive. And the moment you say, अरे यार, भूषण इसको पैसा दे रहा है, तो इसमें कुछ तो होगा यार. मैं भी better check करूँ कि क्या है इसके अंदर. So simple things, but again, very similar, like you're dealing with a girlfriend. The best way to get a girlfriend's interest is to hang out with her friend. So again, I don't honestly think any of this is rocket science, just because we use fancy words like angel investors and stuff. Human beings are human beings. Human behavior is exactly the same, and that's not going to change. And whether you want a date, whether you want money from your mother because you want to go out for a movie, whether you want money from your dad because you want to buy a car, or whether you want money from an angel investor because you want to grow your startup, the principles don't change. You need to be able to persuade and to be able to communicate, and there are enough books on human psychology to help you do that.
So one thing
I'm going to sign out in another 10 minutes. Huh? I'm just letting you know. So.
Okay, so one thing which I would like to add here would be that there are organizations like TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs, where most of these VCs and angels are members. So you can join those organizations, you can attend their events. Generally, bumping into angels and VCs is relatively easy in TIE events. And then there are a lot of pitching sessions these days happening. You can apply at various incubators, etc. And there you can have that.
But Saurabh, उससे problem होता है तो दिन भर वही करते रहते हैं. They spend most of the time doing that and networking. And I met so and so, and obviously networking event, every VC and investor is going to be very polite. Here's my card and send me an email, and you'll never get a reply. So my advice would definitely be attend once. So at least you understand how the game is played more than anything else. Don't expect anything more from that. It's a very competitive space. Why should you expect the money to come easily? I don't understand.
So coming to the next question, I think for a time come because Mr. Malpani has to go. So the next question, I will be clubbing the question. So generally, what kind of legal things a startup founder should worry about when going to an investor, or you feel that वो तो जब हाँ होएगी term sheet आएगी उस समय you can go, मतलब what is your take on that?
No, see, term sheets are given by investors, right? So you have certain window of working on the term sheets, but generally, typically investors have their own kind of templates and and these are like created after so many deals, so they typically have a very small window of changing anything there. And most of the times, I think, given that other founders have adopted it, is not much of a thing to worry, right? But I would touch upon here, there could be different types of term sheet. One is basically you're valuing a company right now. Okay, I'm 100, let's say 100 rupee value company. I'm going to give you 10 rupee. You're going to put 10 rupee into my company. So you have 10% value or whatever. Sometimes you are not clear and you just feel as if you are a smart kind of a founder. You think that I'm not sure how much value. So there is a different kind of term sheet, a safe term sheet, which is basically I'm not valuing right now. You put in money because I'm so and so, my idea is great, or I'm revenue become blah, 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 but we'll decide the valuation in future. So that's a different type of term sheet. So there, I would say maybe you'll bother a little bit about types of term sheet. Otherwise, more or less term sheet are similar. And you will also be able to find out which are very harsh term sheets. It's very well kind of a very social media led kind of thing. You can very easily find out. If you're getting a term sheet, just check yourself on Google what kind of pitfalls or term sheet of certain particular company VC individual. You'll be able to find out. And there are a bunch of templates out there. Y Combinator templates out there. Let's Venture has done a good job. They have given enough of their templates. You can just compare apple to apple. So it's a good problem to solve, but don't have to worry too much about it, I would say.
Okay.
My advice is actually hire a lawyer. Finish, plain and simple. That lawyer is worth the weight in gold. But don't hire your uncle who happens to be a divorce lawyer, who happens to be a lawyer and mostly kuch samjhega nahi. Find a business-friendly startup lawyer, and there are lots of them around. The best way is to ask someone else who's already raised money. Tera lawyer kaun tha? Uska experience kaisa tha? Make a short list of 3 or 4 lawyers, interview them. They all want your business and they will pitch for it. And they understand that because you're a startup, money is limited, but they also want to help you grow. Because as you grow, obviously, the business you'll be able to give them will also keep on growing. But find a lawyer who will protect you. Please don't trust anyone else to be able to do that. That's a lawyer's job to identify problems and protect you from them. Because otherwise, this will come back to haunt you. Big problem, especially when you have a founding team with 2 or 3 co-founders who not even bothered to sign an inter se founder agreement. और फिर जब सब कुछ फेल होता है तो कोई झगड़ा करने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं. तो जब सब कुछ ठीक जाता है तब झगड़े होते हैं. अरे यार तूने तो कुछ किया नहीं, ये सब मेरा था. The cap table is a mess, and then that just creates a real problem. And then you're just actually you're signaling to the investor, I'm a clueless idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. For heaven's sake, don't do that. I mean, we have enough problems. And the last thing we want to do is sit and educate you as an entrepreneur as to how to handle all these term sheets and stuff. Why should you even want to learn about some of this stuff? I don't even understand half of it myself. That's a lawyer's job. That's what you pay him to do. And a good lawyer will walk you through it from first principles and tell you what's right and what's wrong.
So asking the last question, because before Mr. Malpani goes, we should start questions from the public. So do social startups also get funding? Because you are very famous for funding social startups and you are funding a lot of initiatives against the edtech startups. So if Mr. Malpani, you can tell a little bit about
it. I want to clarify. I'm not against edutech startups. I'm for students. I'm for education. I'm for learning. I believe that learning should be free. I believe that learning should be fun, and therefore I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And I think the great thing is there are multiple ways of doing it. Some of it is grants, no questions asked, no equity dilution. Of course, there's money for social impact startups. I think that money is going to progressively increase. And I'll tell you why. I believe social impact startups will actually end up making more money for me than non-social impact startups. And I think there are 3 reasons why. One is we're providing them with the capital, so they have the financial capital to be able to grow. I think the magic sauce is 2 things. One is the human capital they have. The kind of employees social impact startups attract are of a different breed, different DNA. They don't leave and join a competitor just because someone gives them 5% more, 10% more. These guys are loyal because they care about the cause, the purpose, the mission which the startup has. And I think along with the financial capital and the human capital, there is social capital. People have a soft corner. Human beings are social animals. We are altruistic. And we can see that someone is doing good and doing it for a cause or a purpose. We're happy to actually help them do a better job. So that's honestly my belief. Someone says, okay, great, to Bharate badi karta hai. Where are your success stories? Zero success stories. And I'm telling you that up front. And the way I look at it is, I mean, this is the way, because I'm a frugal investor, I don't expect to have any quick successes at all. I expect all the stuff is going to take time. But I don't think my thesis has changed. I don't see any reason to change it.
Okay, so with that, I would like to open up for Q&A from the public. Just 1 minute. I will be sharing. So I am, so once I left Paytm, I thought I should share my gyan with people. So I would be starting my own workshop from 8th of May, because what I realized was I talked to a lot of investors and a lot of senior people. What they said was that the junior people who are starting startups right now, they generally don't have that knowledge. And I personally felt, 5 years ago, I was also like that. And I would say वो अभिमन्यु वाली problem थी कि जैसे अभिमन्यु startup खोलनी आसान है, startup चलानी और बाहर निकलना बहुत difficult है. So I am taking this workshop. This will be a 4-day workshop. 2 घंटे की Zoom पे होगी every Saturday from 11 to 1. So this is the URL. I will be sharing the URL. You can read it, and obviously, if you like it, you can book for the workshop. And I am always there on social media. I have already shared my social media handles. I am happy to help people in that, because मेरा एक ही चीज मानना है कि if we can help people to become entrepreneurs, तो इंडिया की वो जो एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम है ना, दैट इज आई थिंक entrepreneurship की है. बिकॉज इस देश में अगर हर 10 में से एक आदमी entrepreneur बन गया तो वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगी. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि हर आदमी रेस कर लेगा फंडिंग, बट पॉइंट इज कि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ फ्रूगल entrepreneurs, बूटस्ट्रैप entrepreneurs. तो अगर हम 10 में से एक आदमी को entrepreneur इस देश में बना देते हैं तो इस देश की ज़्यादातर सारी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगी. तो दैट इज माई माइंड सेट. आई हैव शेयर्ड द लिंक ऑफ द वर्कशॉप, startuplearn.org/workshop. So now coming to the questions. So the first question is, Srijan is asking, what information do we reveal to VCs when we are not looking to raise money, but they approach us for knowing our future plans? मेरे साथ अभी हो रहा है. So good question. I think Bhushan, you can answer, then Mr. Malpani can answer.
No, see, it's up to you, right? So there's no mandate for you to kind of going back to VCs and somebody asks you questions. You have to so you can always say that maybe this is not the right time. Maybe we can connect after 3 months, 4 months, whatever. It depends on your confidence. Generally, you always have something going to the public. So but a lot of times investors are not completely aware of your play. So you can definitely share, this is what I'm trying to do as an idea. We have seen. So instead of giving absolute numbers, if you're not comfortable, give them like a directive trend line number saying that we are growing 30% year on year, month on month. We already crossed, let's say, founder market phase. So I think keeping them warm is also an option. You don't have to always say that okay. So it's generally also they are not asking you. If you get an inbound query saying that okay, we want to know a little bit more about you, it's not that he's coming and waiting with a bag next door कि बोलोगे कुछ तो मैं ये पैसा ले लो, ऐसा नहीं होने वाला है. So they are also trying to understand, gauge where you guys are. So it's important. Maybe a lot of the answers can be very diplomatic. If you're not if you don't feel comfortable, you're already kind of in talks with certain competitive VCs in that space. So you can say maybe let me come back to after 2 months, etc. Or you can always otherwise keep them warm by sharing trend line numbers. If you're open to raise a funding and you're like an aha moment, okay, somebody I really wanted to, I was dreaming and coming to my door, then you can have an option to open all these things. So it's really.
I'll try answering this. Then that's the last thing, and then I'll sign out. Always remember, VCs are a firm, which means the junior guys, the analysts and so on, part of their job is deal generation. That's what they get paid to do, which is why they will constantly bombard you and send you emails, say, tell us what you're doing. Now, when you tell them what they're doing, doesn't mean they're villains and doesn't mean they will snatch their idea and give it to their uncle or their nephew or someone else in order to run a startup. So for heaven's sake, please don't be overprotective of your idea. Anyone wants ideas, please email me. I'll say hundreds of them, completely free, no charge at all. So I think that's silly also. And please don't be rude. This is a small startup ecosystem. You're going to bump into this VC again in the future. So if he's asked you, please have the courtesy to reply. But like, I think the right thing is wear a bikini. You don't have to open your kimono either. And there's proprietary information, for heaven's sake, don't share that. But there's so much information which, you really in one sense want to tempt him that, hey, there's more good stuff going on. So, you want to be able to find out more. So it's like what you share with him should be suggestive. That's how much you need to reveal. But what you conceal is actually the vital piece. You don't want to go around concealing that. I don't think that's very hard. It's fairly easy to do. But I'm going to have to excuse myself. I have patients lined up. That's one of the advantages of being an IVF doctor. I always tell people I love talking to entrepreneurs, but being an IVF doctor is even better. Best job in the world. You get women pregnant, and their husbands pay you to do that for them. So I'll go back again to my day job. But honestly, guys, I'm just an email or I can't say LinkedIn anymore, but tweet away, Twitter away, have a website, so fairly easy to get on. Thank you so much for having me, Saurabh. Thanks a lot, Bhushan. Love listening to you guys.
Yeah. No, great.
Okay, take care. Bye.
So we will be continuing. Don't leave.
Yeah. Please.
I would be
I
there.
need to apologize. I'm going now.
No problem.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
So coming to the next question. So there is a question, how to find a correct co-founder for my startup. We have 50 plus customers. So I would like to add here just before giving to Bhushan. So I created this founder canvas. So this is a very interesting canvas where I say that if you want to think कि कौन मेरा अच्छा co-founder हो सकता है, तो think about head, heart and hand. और हेड वो दिल में क्या ला रहा है, दिमाग से क्या कर सकता है, और हाथ में क्या ला रहा है. और हाथ में भी ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस इज सरस्वती, मनी, लक्ष्मी, नेटवर्क, शक्ति, तीनों में से क्या लेके आ रहा है. इंटीग्रिटी ऑब्वियसली रिक्वायर्ड है. ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं है इसलिए मैं इस पर ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं कर रहा, बट इंटीग्रिटी ऑल नो. एम्पैथी आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड बिकॉज मैं और भूषण हैं, तो वी ऑल नो विजय में एक चीज़ मैंने जो खास देखी है, जिस वजह से मतलब इंडिया में 1 करोड़ से ज़्यादा इंजीनियर हैं, बट विजय शेखर शर्मा एज एन इंजीनियर इतने सक्सेसफुल क्यों हुए हैं, बिकॉज ही हैज़ एम्पैथी फॉर द कस्टमर. आई थिंक जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कस्टमर के लिए वो एम्पैथी होनी चाहिए. इफ़ यू हैव दैट एम्पैथी यू कैन क्रिएट अ गुड प्रोडक्ट. वैल्यूज ऑब्वियसली शुड मैच, आपके को फाउंडर के साथ आपकी वैल्यूज मैच होनी चाहिए. आई एम नॉट सेइंग वैल्यू अच्छी है बुरी है. एक एग्जांपल, फूड स्टार्टअप है, आप वेजिटेरियन है, आपका को फाउंडर नॉन वेजिटेरियन आ गया, तो दोनों का यही झगड़ा हो जाएगा कि वेजिटेरियन खिलाना है, नॉन वेजिटेरियन खिलाना है. तो जस्ट वो है. ग्रोथ माइंडसेट ऑब्वियसली चाहिए. अगर आप वो पुराने सोशलिस्ट वाले माइंडसेट का कि 1 और 1 2 भी नहीं हो सकता, तो फिर वो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता लाइफ में. आपको 1 और 1 11 वाला माइंडसेट चाहिए. गोल्स ऑब्वियसली शुड मैच. इफ वन को फाउंडर इज सेइंग कि मैंने साउथ में बेचना है, अनदर वन इज सेइंग नॉर्थ में बेचना है, तो झगड़ा होगा. तो गोल्स शुड ऑब्वियसली मैच. एंड इंटेलिजेंस बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. ये मैंने देखा, देयर इज अ थ्योरी कॉल्ड थ्योरी ऑफ मल्टीपल इंटेलिजेंस. 8 तरीके की इंटेलिजेंसेस होती हैं. इंटरेस्टिंगली विजय शेखर शर्मा जो पेटीएम के फाउंडर, उनमें ये 8वां इंटेलिजेंस है. ये मैंने कोरोबरेट भी किया, विजय की फैमिली से भी कोरोबरेट किया, हमारे यहाँ जो सीईओ थे पेटीएम में उनसे भी कोरोबरेट किया मैंने. एंड व्हाट आई रियलाइज्ड, विजय के अंदर ये 8वां इंटेलिजेंस है. उस 8 में से 5 बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं स्टार्टअप्स के लिए. लॉजिकल इंटेलिजेंस, लिंग्विस्टिक इंटेलिजेंस, इंटरपर्सनल इंटेलिजेंस, इंट्रापर्सनल इंटेलिजेंस की मैं काम क्यों कर रहा हूँ. नेचुरलिस्टिक इज आपको बिना आगे का पता चल जाए अगले 5 साल में क्या होने वाला है, 10 साल में क्या होने वाला है. जैसे विजय को 10 साल पहले आइडिया हुआ कि मोबाइल ऐप्स के थ्रू पेमेंट होने वाली है. मैं अपने केस में बताऊं तो मुझे 2001 में आइडिया हुआ कि मोबाइल ऐप्स बहुत बड़ी चीज़ बनने वाली हैं. तो आई फील वो जो एक आपको फील आ जाती है, आप उस लाइन में चले जाते हो, उससे आपका करियर शेप होता है. तो आई थिंक वो है. एंड ओवर टू Bhushan to share some of the best practices of finding a co-founder.
Yeah, I think Saurabh, you have covered it pretty well. But I think most important is the comfort and matching of wavelength, we can call it at sometimes. That's very important because many times what will happen, and a lot of times at the even early stage, what you're thinking of doing and what if you become successful, what you'll end up in doing are typically different. So maybe even if I take an example of Paytm, let's say a wallet company, or let's say we started mobile recharges, etc. But today it could possibly be one of the large insurance possibly provider, or it could be large bank itself, payment bank itself. So what really happens is you are going to be in it for long. That's very important. So it's very important that can you breathe in, breathe out with the person. Does the wavelength match? Can you fight and then fight one day and come back again tomorrow? That okay, you know what? Really nothing happened. That was a good fight, healthy fight. But now we have taken a call and we are going to buy that particular call. Who? It's not about who is winning. It's about whatever direction you take, good and bad. But you actually execute on that direction. And sometimes both the answers may be equally bad on certain situations. So it's kind of important, I think, is don't go by the qualification of person only, but I think a lot more to do with comfort, because the qualification will be in the context of that idea which you might be thinking, or that particular phase of a company. Let's say you think that, okay, legally I don't understand, but I'm creating some fintech and regulatory kind of company. So don't hire a lawyer as a possibly like a founder, uh, because that may be a minor, like a smaller problem in the overall long-term kind of a game. So I would say my view would be really like a person who can top up. I think at Saurabh I put up framework that, okay, really can you make 1+1 11 kind of a model together? But most importantly, are you comfortable with working with this person? Are the habits same? Sometimes even location matters, right? You might have a best of the guy sitting in US and you'll say, let's do become founder. You think remotely it will work, but just that geographical thing do not work out. And then after 20 times you have a call, and then you have to get up 4 o'clock every day in the night to call this guy, and then he's not really kind of value adding founder. He possibly can be advisor for you because you are bending for him all the time versus he's bending. So I think that's a quick, maybe my 2 points there to add what on top of what Saurav said.
So coming to another question. So uh, do we need product market fit at seed funding stage? Bhushan, can you answer that? As far as my knowledge is concerned, I think you should be near product market fit. If you have a product market fit, you can obviously go for a series A, but Bhushan can add.
Yeah, and I maybe a little bit different answer. Obviously, product market fit is my thing is not exactly required in a way, as far as because you might have a seed money coming at a founder market fit also, that people believe that this person can really crack it. Maybe Saurav can be a good example where maybe he can possibly can raise money at the idea level also, and there could be inbound requests at the seed level. But and it's very hard to say near product market fit, fully product market fit, I'm later on product market fit, because you don't know where your particular idea's product market fit is, right? So it's good to have product market fit at a seed stage, but not mandatory. But generally people do look at least you have some, because there's different definition of product market fit. How do you define product market fit itself, right? When you say product, is product readiness is product market fit? Is product ready with few customers is my product readiness? Is product ready with few customers but some paying customers kind of a thing? Sometimes now in the VC world days also this term called NPS, right? Sometimes people look for NPS, right? Is the customer not just using and paying, but are they referring your products to outsider also? So there are kind of a little bit of a haziness of what you call it as product market fit. So having a basic product readiness is definitely advisable. Rest of the things can obviously add on to it so that you are more closer to getting a check, or a higher probability of getting a check if you are getting a revenue, the customers are liking a product, etc.
So coming to another question. So this is an interesting question by Shailesh. IIT IIM founder versus a no pedigree founder. As far as I know, I have personally seen, obviously IIT IIM founders get great traction in front of investors, but this is not a sacrosanct thing. And although there is a bias towards IIT IIM, एक बड़ा interesting incident सुनाता हूँ. So I was there at an NASSCOM event. A very senior person in an MNC was talking to me, and he said, "विजय कौन से IIT के हैं?" तो आई टोल्ड विजय आईआईटी के नहीं है, दिल्ली कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग के है. सो आई थिंक वो एक बायस है, मतलब पीपल एक्सपेक्ट कि अगर विजय इतने बड़े हैं तो आईआईटी के ही होंगे. तो आई थिंक वो एक है, बट आई थिंक आई हैव टॉक टू मेनी इन्वेस्टर्स एंड आई हैव पर्सनली सीन many people are open to having non IIT IIM guys. अब वो ठीक है कि there is obviously a goodwill of IIT IIM, but it's not a wall. I would not say कि जैसे वो glass ceiling आती है. It's not a glass ceiling. Obviously, if you are a no pedigree founder, थोड़ी मेहनत ज़्यादा करनी पड़ती है. But I would personally say मैं भी एक no pedigree founder ही हूँ. Practically, I am not from IIT IIM, but I am getting investors now. तो वो होता है. Bhushan, your take on this?
No, I think not required, to very frank. I think, and then because typically you are, most of the case things what you're building in India is not intellectual products so far, right? We are not talking about very intellectual where your ability itself really matters. A lot of time it's about ability to distribute. The product itself is going to have a brand and it will work automatically. Many times even as a consumer we don't bother when you buy a product of Amazon versus somebody, let's say Flipkart. ऐसा नहीं सोचते ना, Flipkart के बंदे तो IIT के थे तो Flipkart product खरीदेंगे, right? So I think वैसा नहीं है. I think there's no kind of a bias. Obviously there is I would say there's a maybe I think what really happens, there are only maybe few IITs, right? And there are many engineers out of it, and then everybody want to tag themselves as IIT, right? Whereas there are so many colleges, like 30-40,000 colleges. So that looking at one outside IIT college, you might have only few founders. But when you're outside, you think that ये सब IIT वाले एक ही college में जाते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. They also go to, let's say, 20-25 IITs which we have today in the market. It's just that tag is common versus non-IIT. So it's maybe the statistics how you look at it. But otherwise, there's enough equal opportunities. And traditionally, I think in India, if you look at the businesses so far, right? And हर कोई startup तो नहीं खुलता है ना, और not everybody is a startup which needs funding, right? There are so many plethora of proprietary businesses which have been coming up, and they are not IITian, but they are doing decent enough margin. They are kind of getting their livelihood. They're actually employing people. Go to any kind of industrial zone, they're better and maybe possibly larger companies than a startup kind of ecosystem, which are run by normal traditional guys, and some are not even educated for that matter.
Okay, so coming to the next question. So Raghav is asking, how long should it take from going from idea to MVP? See, it can depend. Generally, international authors say it should be 3 months to 6 months. But I have seen in India, there are a lot of issues. Sometimes even founder is not that mature. So it may take up to 1 year. And then it all depends on what kind of money you have. So if you see Jio ke case mein, they took Spectrum and Jio was so वो मुकेश अंबानी जैसे उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी. तो आई वुड से इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मनी यू हैव, बट 6 मंथ्स के लिए मिनिमम प्लान करिए, एंड आई वुड से 12 मंथ्स के लिए भी एटलीस्ट प्लान इट, बिकॉज इट शुड नॉट बी कि आप बिल्कुल 80% पे पहुंच गए और पैसे खत्म हो गए एंड then you have to close the company. And Bhushan, you can add on this.
I think very important question. Like, always check what you have, right? And I would say whatever milestone you are thinking, it's like this, right? Every time you want to go and buy a house, or every time you want to buy a bike, that whatever you dream is always beyond what you can afford, right? And same thing here. That's what will happen. Like, if you think for me to kind of create a MVP, etc., if your costs are going to be, let's say, if you think there's 30 lakh, typically have an additional buffer. Don't plan that okay, I have 30, then I have 20, that's good enough, somebody will give me 10 lakh. Don't do that mistake. Have enough of your own oxygen to kind of get to a stage where you think will be ready, and generally it will carve out monies beyond what you have planned anyway. And that's why you'll see founders actually maybe selling off the house to kind of get some idea done, maybe selling their car or whatever, or partnering with somebody who can bring in money at the last moment. So it typically is like a typical aspirational thing, right? Like, your bike which you want is always 20,000 costly. The car which you want is at least 2 lakh rupees costly. The house you want to buy is always 20 lakh rupees, because that extra bedroom will cost you 20 lakh rupees. It's all relative. So I think very important, you have to plan your oxygen right. And if you are concerned about it, make sure that oxygen is available from somewhere. It's a friend, family, parent, it doesn't matter. But if it's not there, don't I would say just be very, very cautious about jumping into it.
So another question is, how can I find our startup valuation? I think startup valuation is not a science. I did CA, so उसमें they used to like tell us how to value companies. So I think वो हो नहीं सकती, because startup initially idea stage पे तो practical story होती है, and second stage पे अगर आप MVP भी बना चुके हो, तो it's more of कि MVP के basis पे you can see कि ये potential है. So I think startup valuation is a art. It depends आपको कौन मिल जाता है. अभी 1-1.5 महीने पहले की बात है, when I just left Paytm and I started getting offers from investors. तो मैंने भूषण को ही फोन किया, मैंने कहा वैल्यूएशन कितनी करूँ, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा, बिकॉज कोई कहता है कि आप इतने करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन लगाओ, कोई कहता है इतने की लगाओ, एंड 10x का डिफरेंस था. मतलब मेरे पास मेरी अपनी स्टार्टअप के लिए 5 करोड़ से लेकर 50 करोड़ तक की वैल्यूएशन के बीच में चीजें आ रही थी, तो अब ऑब्वियसली बहुत ज्यादा गैप था. तो आई थिंक भूषण, जो आपने उस दिन आंसर किया, मे बी यू कैन आंसर दैट, एंड आई थिंक दिस विल बी वेरी यूजफुल, बिकॉज मेनी स्टार्टअप फाउंडर्स हैव दिस क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज वो समझ आता ही नहीं है. पैसे के केस में इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू वैल्यू.
Yeah, so I think one thing definitely is, you can, maybe I would, based on my experience with 3 things. One is, you benchmark yourself in the market, like, okay, what's the current trend of that particular sector? Let's say tech startups at a seed stage, idea stage, what kind of funds are coming? That's one. Second one, I would say definitely is, because you are not raising for 10 years, 20 years kind of money most of the times. You are raising only for, let's say, next 18 to 20 months. So in your plan, let's say you are needing, and then that money is different for different people. So let's say in your kind of plan for next 18 months, you are looking for, let's say, 50 lakh rupees. Somebody say, I need next 18 months, 24 months, I need maybe 5 crore rupees. Depends on what kind of plans he has. Because you're not trying to pitch a company, 500 crore company that time. You're only going to say that I want to move from milestone 1 to milestone 2. So what's your requirement? And that for that requirement, typically get inside out valuation. What I call it inside out is basically, as a company from inside, I need, let's say, 50 lakh rupees. And typically investors would want to take anywhere between 15 to 20% stake. And that's a good deal to kind of have. So how do I, let's say if I need a crore to spend in next 18, 20 months. And if I'm going to shell off, let's say 20%, then I might be valued about 5 crore kind of money. So that could be inside to out kind of a model also. From a value perspective, if somebody gives a better deal that you'll say, okay, now I think you instead of 5 crore, I think you should be valuing yourself as 10 crore. Yeah, it's a good deal because then you're shelling off much lesser for the money which you typically need. And the third point, which I would say is also becomes very important, is your and going back to now what Saurav said earlier, your P&L plans, etc. You do you because both the answers what I told you are like benchmark on costs as well as the market factors. But the third factor which I'll bring in is what's the multiplier you're looking at, right? Because that's another way of looking at the investors. Typically at the first, let's say seed level, look at maybe 7 to 8 kind of 8x returns, or the next round will be at least 5 to 6x kind of round. So you can also benchmark that perspective. If I have to, can I really, so let's say if I'm investing, let's say 1 crore in your company and I'm saying that your value is 5 crore, can the next round be at 50 crore? Because then only you can give me return. Or my math will work out good. Now, if you think that, oh, I cannot go to 50 crore, then I can possibly go on only 25 crore in, let's say 18, 20 months, then you might reduce your valuation. Or if you say in 18, 20 months, I'll definitely be 50 crore, 100 crore company, then you can also negotiate with me better. So there are 3 factors. One is market, second is inside out your cost modeling, and the third one is possibly what can you really create a multipliers which are typically expected from investors as well as for yourself.
So another question which somebody is asking is, Sandhya Maurya is asking, should startup bother about patents? I would say patents obviously are useful. They are a barrier to entry also. So as I said, in my startup, instead of building games using Unity, I am thinking of creating a game engine. Game engine भी normal वाला तो patentable नहीं होता है. We are trying some additional features because kit based game engine करना है. द एम इज कि कल को अगर हमारे पास वो पेटेंट हो जाता है तो कल को बैजूस और वाइट हेड जूनियर कैन नॉट कम एंड जैसे कि हम इस टाइप से कर लेते हैं, कॉपी कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज वी वुड हैव अ बैरियर टू एंट्री. बट आई वुड टेक इट विद अ पिंच ऑफ सॉल्ट ऑल्सो. IBM फॉर लास्ट 20 years इज द बिगेस्ट पेटेंट होल्डर एंड बिगेस्ट अप्लायर ऑफ पेटेंट्स इन द वर्ल्ड. बट आप में से कोई भी आई थिंक IBM को मोस्ट इनोवेटिव कंपनी नहीं कहेंगे. वी विल से एलोन मस्क इज मोस्ट इनोवेटिव, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट थी, गूगल बीच में रही, पहले माइक्रोसॉफ्ट थी. बट आई वुड से लास्ट 20 years में कोई भी आदमी IBM को नंबर नहीं देगा ज़्यादा. तो पेटेंट्स आर इनोवेशन, बट पेटेंट्स have to be taken with pinch of salt, and defensibility obviously is an issue. So IP has its own value in funding also and stopping competitors also. And Bhushan, if you would like to add anything in this.
I think again, you don't have to run behind patents. I don't leave everything and give patent leke hi karenge or let me have patent first and do something. I think most of the times it's execution of our idea and getting to customers first rather than patenting something and protecting it for a lifetime. Second thing, what are you also patenting, right? Generally, what I've seen is many times in the bigger scheme of things, the patent is only for that one particular code line or that particular thing, right? So that may not stick you as a value. So and doesn't even protect you. Most of the time, patents do not protect you at the stage what you're doing. And then on the other side, they are very contrarian because you'll be spending a lot more money. And patents, just for everybody's sake, because some of you might be very early in the cycle, patents are country specific. So you end up in protecting you. To protect yourself, you might be spending thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars if you want to really protect yourself. Otherwise, I can always open idea and create the same copy of you running from Singapore, and I'm still out of patent and still run the business in India. So there are a bunch of loopholes, so it really doesn't help you create any deterrent.
So I think the last question we will take would be, how large a market size do angels look before investing?
How large a market size angels look?
Look before
Okay.
investing. So basically what he's saying is total addressable market वगैरह कितनी है?
It's very hard kind of to answer. So it's not that angels have a cap, right? They would not say, okay, I need a minimum of 10 crore of market, because they are not investing at a cap level, right? So typically the criteria of TAM or SAM, etc., is not capped by the angel level, because they are investing in ideas which are possibly be large unicorns tomorrow anyway. So there's no kind of a relative, like they might be giving you lesser money, but the TAM wise they are no different than a VC, right? So they are not saying that कि मैं तो 10 लाख डाल रहा हूँ तो I'm okay with 1 crore TAM. ऐसा नहीं होगा typically.
So with that, I would like to end today's session. It was great session, first session of Startup Learn. Thanks to Bhushan, thanks to Mr. Malpani, although he had to leave soon. So next session would be on May 15th. The free meetup would be on May 15th. We would have two people. One would be the founder of Kolkata Ventures, who is Avello Roy, who is relatively famous now. And we would also have a very senior person from Rocket Internet, which is a very famous company worldwide. And the chief strategy officer nowadays is a friend of mine, and I think Bhushan would also be knowing Amit Veer, who was earlier SVP in Paytm. So he would be there, and just recollecting that to run the Startup Learn initiative, we want to do it more in a bootstrapped way, in a self-sufficient way. So I'm doing a workshop from 8th of May, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Four 2-hour sessions would be there. So I've already shared the link. If anybody wants to do that, you can reach out to me or register at the link. And do follow us on meetup.com. I have already shared the link, and on social media channels, I have shared the links. Because as a startup founder, I had to learn things very hard way. So from, I would say, 2004 to 2015, अभिमन्यु वाली सिचुएशन थी कि यू डोंट नो कहाँ जाना है, क्या करना है, कैसे फंडिंग लेनी है. ओवर ईयर्स आई हैड टू रीड मोर देन 200 बुक्स. विजय के साथ काम करने का मौका मिला, भूषण के साथ काम करने का मौका मिला. आई बट आई वुड से हर आदमी इतना लकी नहीं होता. तो आपको बहुत सारा ज्ञान लेना है, तो स्टार्टअप लर्न पे आइए, वो ज्ञान लीजिए. एंड ऑब्वियसली देयर आर अदर कम्युनिटीज ऑल्सो. So with that, I would like to sign off. Thanks, Bhushan. And Bhushan is also a mentor to Startup Learn, and I am thankful to him for that also. So with that, I would like to end today's session.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Best of luck, everyone. Bye.